coming for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
Oh, hi. What's your name? Hi, Marcia. I almost erased you. I was going to draw a car. You do? But you're a... Well, I don't know. A racing driver? Well, we can make that happen.
Welcome and thanks for joining us here for another great Sunday morning race being brought to you by the Sunday Hangover Indycar League here on iRacing.com. We are getting close to kickoff here, and for some reason I'm having a little bit of instrument troubles here, so bear with me for just one slight moment. Looks like everything's underway now. We will double check that here in just a moment, though. As I stated, we are here once again on Turn 3 Racing Network for the Sunday Hangover IndyCar League International Animal Rescue 172. That is going to be a total of 115 laps around this speedway. And man, oh man, it is going to be an absolute barn burner here today. As I stated, trying to work out a few little glitches here in the matrix, so to speak. So bear with me just momentarily. See if we can't get this worked out. And that should do it for us. We should have that all worked out and fixed up now as we get ready for the green flag to drop on qualifying here today. There you see it. Less than a minute and a half remaining before these IndyCar drivers get into the car to try to set their fastest lap. Try to take the pole position away. And while we do have a moment for it, this is what your points standings so far look like coming into today's race. Graham Bunyan leading the field by 129 points. Battle is between the next three drivers. Robert Mitchell right there with 313. Jason Lowe right there with 310. Ben Wallace also right there with 310. So those three drivers battling it out right now to see who's going to have a shot or a possible chance should Graham Bunyan falter over these last three races of the season. That is including this race here at Kansas. Next week, we head to Texas Motor Speedway for an open setup race before we head off to the season finale at Indy. And thank you. I will take care of that now because I thought that I did, but I obviously did not. So hopefully I can fix that problem, and it has now been taken care of. So thank you once again, Roger, for informing me of that. I do appreciate it. And qualifying has now begun. So we will see who we have jump out there first. And it looks like the 67 of Will Zoller has decided to jump on track. Go ahead and try to take the provisional pole away from everybody. Since he was one of the first ones on track, he will obviously slot up there near the top. Also out on track, the 71 of Stephen Harden, the 99 of Ben Wallace, the 10 of Mike West, Jason Lowe, Rick Loverson, Scott Kirchner, Howard Livingston, Rick Kelball, all out on track already. So about half of the field already out there trying to get their up-to-speed laps going and put down the fast lap. And as I said, Will Zoller did cross the line first, now being dropped all the way to fourth. The 10 of Mike West is on the provisional pole now. Scott Kirchner in the 00 is slotted in third. Where will Will shake out after his second lap? All the way back up to first for him. We'll have to see if that time sticks or if somebody's going to be able to come up and take that position away. Right now, still saying that he's got it. Graham Bunnan, your points leader, is out there trying to put his fast lap down now. Will Zoller still has that underway. Off of turn number 4 to the line for the first time. Where will Graham Bunyan slot himself in? Only good enough for the 10th position right now. So he is going to have to pick up the pace here on this second lap if he's going to want to come up from 11th to try to do anything with your pole sitter. The 67 of Will Zoller down right on that apron, hugging that white line, crossing the line this time by all the way up to the first position is your points season leader. Your season points leader. There you go. Graham Bunyan. And it looks like most of the drivers have made their qualifying times. Only the 6 of Jeff Murray has not decided to put down a fast lap just yet. And with all that being said, I mean, qualifying is pretty much done and over with now. So these drivers doing a heck of a job getting their fast laps in. Graham Bunyan just taking a slow ride back to pit lane. And man, with everything going on, everything happening so fast here, we're going to step away from the track for just a moment. And we will be right back after our singing of the national anthem. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. You won't miss any other great action here on Turn 3 Racing Network.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming
back once again. Thanks for staying with us. And we are set to get this thing going. Field is beginning to grid up. We will go ahead and give you your starting lineup for today's race. Starting pole position, stealing it right at the last moment, the 25 of Ryan Bowles. Outside row number 1, that 101 of Graham Bunyan. Row number 2, the 67 of Will Zoller, followed by the 99 of Ben Wallace. Row number 3, the 71 of Stephen Harden, and the 10 of Mike West. Row number 4, the 24 of Rick Kilball, followed by the 31 of Robert Mitchell. Row number 5, the 13 of Howard Livingston, and the 00 of Scott Kirchner. Row number 6, the 15 of Danny J, followed by the 64 of Rick Lovison. Row number 7, the 004 of Jason Lowe, followed by the 6 of Jeff Murray, and I do believe that is going to round out the field for today's International Animal Rescue 175 here for the Sunday Hangover Indycar League on iRacing.com, the world's #1 racing simulator. As these drivers slowly come around this racetrack for the first time behind the pace car. If you've seen these guys before, you know what time it is. Majority of their races are caution-free, straight battling all race long. We will have to see what these boys have in store for us today, but I am sure it is going to be an absolutely great show. Ryan Bowles in that 25 machine has been known to be ultra fast. Pace car is off. We are set to go green flag racing here at Kansas Motor Speedway for the International Animal Rescue 172 here on Turn 3 Racing Network. And Ryan Bowles with a great start, already opening up almost a 0.3 of a second lead over the field. Graham Bunyan has fell back to the 3rd position. He is battling with Will Zoller, Howard Livingston, and Jason Lowe in the 004. That naked clown ride has been on a tear through the points as of late. Last week he did round out your podium in the 3rd position. But here we go. Battle now developing up front between your race leader, Ryan Bowles, as well as Will Zoller. Coming up there trying to steal it. That's going to allow Graham Bunyan to get right there as well. Back in the back, Stephen Harden has his hands full of Rick Kelball right now. We will take a moment, watch this battle unfold up here at front before we go back and join up with them. A man on the move right now, that 99 of Ben Wallace on the outside back here, trying to make the pass on Graham Bunyan. He was able to go around the 13 of Howard Livingston that last lap on the outside. Power move again. Slots right behind on that gearbox of Bunyan going back to turns 1 and 2. Looks like the field is somewhat getting a little bit sorted out, and Graham Bunyan off the pace a little bit here, giving up 2 positions. He's going to be passed by Jason Lowe on the outside, and that is actually backing up some of the field. That backed up Howard Livingston as well, as he loses 2 positions during that little, I won't say melee. Almost up into the wall was Stephen Harden right there, going into turns 1 and 2. Or I do apologize, that may have been Kirchner on the outside. Yes, it was. That was Scott Kirchner almost into the wall. And we're going to continue to look through our field here today, as there are side-by-side battles all back through this field all the way to 11th position. Rick Kelball, he's got Robert Mitchell, Danny J all right there, right with him. But up front, still going on, 3-4 car battle for your race lead. Ryan Bowles still leading this field in that 25 machine. But Ben Wallace has made his way up into second, looking to the outside now of Bowles. What will happen in a lap or two? As I know Ben Wallace is hunting that race lead and that race win here today at Kansas Motor Speedway. And while the field's grouped up, I tell you what, we're going to go ahead, do something I always love doing, and that's crank it up one time here early Sunday morning for the Sunday Hangover IndyCar League. And if that don't wake you up, get you going after a good Saturday night on an early Sunday morning, I don't know what will. Side by side for the race lead, the 25 of Bowles has Wallace looking to the outside. Graham Bunyan right there with Wallace on the outside as well. Will Zoller finds himself back in the fourth position, but you don't have to look far and you will find Scott Kirchner and Jason Lowe right there as well. Now 3-4 cars lined up on the top side. Ryan Bowles, sole driver down there, hunting that white line, trying to take the shortest way around this racing surface as we are still under green flag here at Kansas Motor Speedway. 11 now crossing the line to take lap 12, and your race leader the entire time has been Ryan Bowles, but he has had his hands full since lap number 2. A lot of drivers trying to get up there and steal a win late in the season as Scott Kirchner makes a big move to the bottom on the inside of Will Zoller. He's able to pull the position. There you see him sliding up the track right there. Fourth car in line. Bunyan still very loyal to that high lane as we are 13 laps into this green flag run, and it looks like that's where he wants to be, is up on that top side. Scott Kirchner now sliding in just behind Bunyan up there on that high side. Battle in the back. Looks like Stephen Harden still has his hands full right now with Danny J and Rick Lovison. And Robert Mitchell in the 31 slowly making some gains here this morning, all the way up to the 8th running position. So far right now, side by side still between Bowles and Wallace as they enter turn 3 and 4. This field slowly beginning to spread out just a little bit. Still all of the drivers within 2.5 seconds of each other. And if you have ever been in one of these IR-18s, you know that is you can make up about a second on a straightaway if you get the right slipstream and you time it just correctly. And Kirchner right there on that gearbox of Bunyan going into turns number 1. That's going to force Kirchner up the track through the corner. Very, very close racing, tight quarters right now early in this thing, as we have now been down to just 100 laps left. Oh my goodness. Only 100 laps left to go here tonight. Not quite sure what the glitch in the matrix right there was all about. But everything seems to still be just perfectly fine. So we will continue to just roll on as we normally do. Man, oh man, I tell you what, these drivers are putting on one heck of a show. We're going to take a second look back from the gearbox of this 99 of Ben Wallace. Just look at the gaggle of these cars Just they're everywhere, darting around right behind him as he is trying to take the race lead away from Ryan Bowles. You see him go down the track, get a little bit of air on that nose before he enters the corner, but look how close Graham Bunyan gets with that front wing right to that gearbox. That is absolutely amazing. Very, very close. Oh my goodness, wrong camera. Very, very close racing action between your top three. And then you got a three-way battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Robert Mitchell now making his presence known, has driven up into the 6th position. We had just checked moments ago, and he was back in 8th, so able to make up some time rapidly in just about 2 laps, 2 positions for him. Ryan Bowles still your race leader, only one to lead the race so far. And credit the last lap, I do apologize. They may have credited that last lap to Ben Wallace on the outside. No, they didn't. They still gave it to Bowles, as he is still your race leader at the line as well. Battle on track, 1st and 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Rest of the field slowly getting a little bit of space, a little bit of distance between them. And Ryan Bowles, he has been absolutely glued to that white lane down there on the bottom of the track. There you see your running order off to the left side of the screen for you. Bunyan goes back to the bottom with Bowles. You have Kuchner right behind Wallace. Which lane will prevail? As of right now, give the lead to Wallace, but Bowles fighting back on the inside as they come off of turns 3 and 4. Back to the line. It's going to go to Bowles yet again, so he is not done leading the laps. However, Ben Wallace was able to steal 1 lap away from Ryan Bowles here today so far at Kansas Motor Speedway for the International Animal Rescue 172. You have got to start asking yourself, got to start wondering, when are these drivers going to begin to think about fuel management, as we have seen some fuel mileage play a big strategy in a few previous races. Things starting to get a little heated up back there between Kuchner, Lowe, and Mitchell. That 3-way battle is still raging on, as this 4-car battle is raging on up front between Bowles, Wallace, Kuchner, and Bunyan. Bunyan now falling off the pace just a little bit. We'll have to see if everything's okay with him. We'll keep an eye on him. Looks like he's fine. Just went back through the field just a little bit. Maybe a little bit of contact with that outside safer barrier, as he is way up the track right now through the corner. He was way up the track right next to that wall going into turns 1 and 2. Will Zoller trying to hang on to this front pack. 5 cars have now broken away. Will Zoller leads a few of them up there. Jason Lowe, Stephen Harden right there behind Zoller. And those 3 drivers trying to keep a hold of the slipstream of Graham Bunyan. Looks like they're able to, as Zoller and Lowe has stepped away from Stephen Harden a little bit here, have over a second gap between those drivers. So the top of the chart starting to separate themselves just a little bit. But this man right here has been on an absolute tear. Robert Mitchell coming through the field all the way up to the 3rd spot. Now Ben Wallace has taken over the lead for the past 3 laps. Now leading his 4th, but there you see Bowles on the bottom, still digging, still trying to get the job done as we are working 30 laps under green flag conditions. And I tell you what, while we can, we'll go ahead and see if we can't give you a little bit of onboard racing action here from the seat of Robert Mitchell in his 31 machine, as he is making his way back down the back stretch right now, pulling even with Ryan Bowles down on the inside, still keeping his nose right oh, a little bit of contact with the wall there. Not enough to push that front right suspension in, but a little bit of contact out of that right front tire with the wall, and he moves to the bottom. He's going to make a big move to the bottom. Is he able to slot himself into the position? No, he is not. And Robert Mitchell giving us one heck of a show as we went on board with him for a lap there. And now your top 2 starting to separate themselves from Ryan Bowles, Graham Bunyan, and Will Zoller. 2-car battle now raging up front for your race lead. Ben Wallace still out there on that outside lane. Robert Mitchell trying to get the run. He's going to find himself stuck behind Ben Wallace as they work their way through 3 and 4. A lot of cars flirting with disaster right now. Right on the cusp of that outside safer barrier. So the aero push that these drivers are experiencing behind the Dallara IR-18s that are in front of them has got to be pretty substantial, because there is a lot of drivers struggling when they are entering and exiting the corners right behind another car. And if you haven't had a chance yet, you need to go ahead and come on out to 400 Speedway Boulevard, Kansas City, Kansas. And I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. It is a great facility, great place to watch, great racing action. Just like these gentlemen are putting on for us right now. There you see Ryan Bowles making his presence felt back up, trying to fight for that top spot again. He's going to have to deal with Robert Mitchell first, though. Scott Kirchner in that 00 machine is right there behind Bowles, hanging on to the 4th spot. And it looks like Graham Bunyan has fallen through the field all the way back to the 7th position. Wonder if that is for green flag pitting purposes, as we have one driver already on pit road. He has stopped in his box, and he will be heading off here just momentarily. Danny J in the 15 also hitting pit road this time by. And Ben Wallace is leading this field past 12 laps now. Ben has had some great runs this season. Robert Mitchell now looking to the front of the field, and he is going to get the job done through 1 and 2. He is going to slot himself into the 1st position. Robert with 1 win so far this season, but there you see Ben Wallace utilizing the run, going back to the bottom, and he's going to hit pit road this time. He's going to try to do a little bit of undercutting, short pitting, if you will. Try to see if he can gain any time over the rest of his competitors, as Robert Mitchell, now running the high line, is being scored as your race leader. 1 lap in the books for Mitchell as we continue on. Lap 40 out of 115 here this morning for the International Animal Rescues 172. That is 115 laps around this 1.5 mile racetrack. I think it's 1.5 miles, isn't it? No, it's not 1.5 miles. What is it? I don't know. smiling something. Let's just leave it at that. It is actually a 1.5 mile racetrack. I am hearing word it is actually 1.53 miles. So yeah. So that, yeah, when you think of that. So I wasn't wrong. Even though I thought I was wrong. So I guess I was still wrong. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to figure that out. A lot of other drivers hitting pit road as well. Graham Bunyan, Ben Wallace, Jason Lowe, Stephen Hardin, Howard Livingston, Danny J, all hitting pit road. Jeff Murray joining them this last time by. Rick Kelball bringing his machine down onto pit road. But the man on track leading this field, Robert Mitchell, he has yet to complete a pit stop. And it's looking like most of the drivers are going to have to hit pit road at least one more time here tonight, here this morning, before we finish out race number 11 out of a 13 race season for the Sunday Hangover Indycar League drivers on iRacing.com. Looks like Robert Mitchell and Ryan Bowles will hit pit road. That is going to leave these two gentlemen, Scott Kutchner leading your field, followed by Will Zoller in that 67 machine, trying to look at some of the tires, see where everybody is shaking out. And it looks like Ben Wallace has got his hands full now back here with the 101 of Graham Bunyan, as we are still under green flag conditions. Only 3 cars on the lead lap. Make that just 2, as your 2 race leaders staying out for an extended amount of time have been able to put the entire field 1 lap down. Should a caution come out now, it could spell disaster for a few of your race win contenders early here at Kansas. Still electing to stay out on track is the 00 of Scott Kutchner, followed by the 67 of Will Zoller, Ben Wallace, and Graham Bunyan. Those 2 drivers fighting it out right now as Kutchner and Zoller hit pit road. Oh no! Caution is out. We caught it almost right on time. That is between Ben Wallace into the wall and into Graham Bunyan. Oh my goodness. Let's take another look at this one more time here. Oh my. We will have to get one more look at this. See what happened here. And the camera wouldn't respond for a second, so one last time here. And not sure if that was just air or what happened there. We'll take one more look at it from Bunyan's perspective, see what we see. No contact being made, and then he goes for one heck of a ride, and then gets hit by another car, goes flipping up into the fence. And we are going to have to get him some attention out there to get his car back onto the racing surface. Tough break for Graham Bunyan, as I believe his day is going to be done. That is going to hurt Ben Wallace as well. My goodness. Caution for the first time here today at Kansas Speedway. There you see it. 1 caution, 6 lead changes so far here today. Obviously do not have a lot of cautions, or I should say do not have a lot of caution laps, as this is our very first caution of this afternoon's race. And with pit stops being so recent, I wonder if there's going to be any takers on pit road. And I'm thinking I may want to hit pit road. If I'm if I'm any of the drivers outside of the top two right now, Will Zoller and Scott Kuchner, who, due to the accident between Bunyan and, excuse me, do apologize, because of the action and accident between Bunyan and Wallace, they were able to maintain their top two positions. So that worked out wonderful for them. Do have a few drivers that decided to hit pit road. Stephen Harding, Jason Lowe, Ben Wallace, all on to pit road this time by. Gonna go ahead and top it off, and they will have the freshest tires, be able to stay out there the longest. And it looks like Scott Kirchner, he decided to hit pit road as well. So that is going to leave Will Zoller out on track. And hopefully I have caught completely back up to the field. And I have. For some reason, not sure how that's possible, but I'm just going to leave it alone right now. Waiting to see if the pace car lights go out on that Porsche as we get set to go green flag racing here at Kansas Speedway again. And let's just keep our eye on it. Looks like pace car lights are off. We have one to go here at Kansas Speedway, and I am telling you what, Robert Mitchell able to receive a wave around. He's going to put himself back up onto the lead lap. Your race leader, Will Zoller, right here. Going to bring the field back to green flag this time. When we cross the line, lap 52 out of 115 here today. So these drivers putting on one heck of a show already, and I don't know what to expect, as some of your front runners were caught up in some pretty heavy damage. Graham Bunyan was, however, able to finally get towed to his stall, pull the backup car out. He is back up on track. Jason Lowe, unfortunately, in his pit stall for an extended stay. Right now, he's being scored a lap down. And Zoller nails the gas, and we are back under green flag here at Kansas Speedway. And he caught even myself off guard, as well as the rest of the field. 1.5 second lead over the second place car as he works his way off of turn 2. And that is a big gap to try to overcome, as we have drivers all mixed up through your running order right now. Multiple cars trying to get their laps back in between some of our race leaders running up for position. So Scott Kuchner finally closing that distance, finally beginning to walk down Will Zoller in that 67, and he has got, I believe, that is Graham Bunyan, I believe, right there, running up with your race leaders. That may actually be the 15 of Danny J. No, it's not. Danny's a little bit slow off the pace back here in the back of the field. We'll go back up with your race leader, though, as he has got his hands full with Scott Kuchner now. Robert Mitchell is making his way back up onto the scene, running in the third position. Your top 5 right now looks a little something like this. Will Zoller with your race lead, Scott Kuchner in second, Robert Mitchell third, Ryan Bowles in fourth, and Jeff Murray in fifth. and trying to get back on the lead lap the hard way is Graham Bunyan. He is going to get one of his laps back. He is still now being shown 2 laps down. So Graham with a big task at hand. He is going to have to take this race lead and step away and hope for a few more cautions. Otherwise, his race day is pretty much done with here at Kansas Speedway. As we watch your race leader battle with Graham Bunyan, who is multiple laps down right now, we're going to switch it up to our blimp cam for a little bit of our aerial coverage being provided to you by Haywood Elite Wrestling Club out of Bethel, North Carolina. Season starting up for those young warriors. Can't wait to see you on track and on the mats. And we have another caution here. Let's see if we can't see what happened. Not seeing anything indicative to an incident. So we're going to have to just wait and see, as it looks like all the drivers, no issues, everybody running just fine. And here we go. I believe we may have found one of the parties involved. We will take a look back, see what happened here with Jeff Murray. Up and into the wall, and then, oh! I am not sure who he was involved with right there. Tough break for both of those drivers. Not sure who else was involved in that. We'll take one more look, see if we can't see the numbers on these cars. And that may have been that 25 of Ryan Bowles that was involved. Ryan Bowles, I believe, was the other party involved in that. And tough break to see that happen to your pole sitter. Jeff Murray also running strong. And that's all it takes, folks. One little misjudgment and bad things can happen in a hurry inside one of these Indy cars. So you just have to, you just got to take your lumps. Hopefully the crew can beat the fenders. Well, there's really no fenders on these open wheel cars, but possibly replace the nose cone, maybe your rear wing. Sometimes it's a little bit harder to fix these intricate high-tech machines. These Indy cars are very fragile, very aero-dependent, and very, very high-tech. So every little piece and component matters, and when you start shedding parts, it is never going to be a good day for you. Graham Bunyan, however, I believe he is going to be able to receive no, he will not receive a lucky dog. And it doesn't look like he is going to be able to get another lap back, because it looks like your leaders are going to be staying out on track here. And if I'm any of the drivers hunting for the season championship, that is a strategy I may try to utilize. Leave your top competitor or your target stuck down multiple laps with that. He is not going to have the points day that he would like. And if you are able to snatch away a race win, that could pay dividends heading down through the final stages, these final races here in season number 4 for the Sunday Hangover IndyCar League. And we have this afternoon's race here at Kansas Speedway. Then we will pack up and head out to Texas Motor Speedway for an open setup race. Then we get to witness greatness at the now Penske-owned Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the season finale here for the Sunday Hangover Indycar League. And there's nothing better than watching IndyCars at Indianapolis. I mean, the Daytona 500 is one for the ages as well, the Southern 500, but when it comes to iconic races, the Indianapolis 500 IndyCars on that racing circuit, that is, in my opinion, one of the top 3 races in the world. And pretty much anybody that knows anything about racing knows about Indianapolis. But enough about Indianapolis, and let's focus on today. As your race leader, Will Zoller, started in the 3rd position, fell all the way back to 7th, and has been able to drive his way back up into the top spot. And yet again, we have the 1 to go here at Kansas Speedway. So these drivers getting set to put the hammer back down. And can Scott Kuchner do, I won't say the unthinkable, but can he pull off a race win? What about Howard Livingston right there running in 3rd? Danny J in the 15, up inside of your top 5, running in the 4th position. Rounding out your top 5 is the 31 of Robert Mitchell, who has elected to go down to pit road and rejoin the field. He has pretty fresh tires, and I'm going to keep my eye on this restart, as Zoller last time got out to a huge jump very, very early. So we will watch this happen as we get set. Pace car going to be ducking off here, and we will get set to go green flag racing once again at Kansas Speedway. Zoller hits the gas, and we are back green flag racing here at Kansas Speedway. Scott Kuchner not getting a very good start, but Zoller did not have as good a start as he did the previous lap either. So this field now working its way down the back stretch. Howard Livingston slotted into the 3rd position. Battle is between these 2 drivers right here, though. That is for 1st and 2nd on the racing surface. Will Zoller going to lead yet another lap here today. And as they work through turns 1 and 2, we will see them coming around down the back stretch here. Oh, right up next to that wall was, I believe that was Ben Wallace. As the 2nd black and green car there that you've seen on screen, that is actually Rick Kelball. Almost. Whew. Things are getting tight. Things are getting heated. Graham Bunyan trying to get yet another lap back from this field, and he is mixing it up and cutting through the field like a hot knife through butter. Scott Kuchner still right on the gearbox of Zoller. Livingston right there. Danny J not going anywhere either. Robert Mitchell right there as well. And Danny trying to go up and play spoiler a little bit for... Oh, Lord. Oh. So sorry. I do apologize. Trying to play a little bit of a spoiler, if you will, but he is going to have his hands full with, I believe that is Ben Wallace on that inside, trying to get up and get a lap back. He is being scored. The first car 1 lap down in the 7th position, and Danny way up the track there through 3 and 4. Ryan Bowles right there behind him. Ryan trying to take the position away. Oh, right next to that wall was Danny that time as Ryan Bowles hits the bottom of the track and keeps on motoring by. But look at the run back into turn 3 that Danny got right there. Battle now up here for your race lead. This is your top 3. Ben Wallace is being scored 1 lap down, so he's mixing it up with your race leaders. Howard Livingston running in the 4th position. That was the car you seen just behind Ben Wallace. And Robert Mitchell back to the point yet again as he puts his 5th lap in the books here today at Kansas Speedway, leading the field back to the stripe to begin lap 71 out of 115. 45 laps of green flag racing yet to be had here at Kansas Speedway. And Ben Wallace, he is trying to do the unthinkable, race his way back onto the lead lap, right on the gearbox of Robert Mitchell as they head down to turns 1 and 2. He's going to have the outside lane. Mitchell is prevailing on the bottom, but remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is not for position on track. Ben Wallace still being shown 1 lap down after the contact with the outside wall in Graham Bunyan's machine. Graham had a little bit, got the worst of the two, I should say, was stuck up in the fence, had to get towed down and back to pit road so he could jump into his backup. And he is out on track, turning fast laps. He was able to make his way by the race leaders and get 1 of his 3 laps back. He is now being shown 2 laps down. Battle on track, though, between 2nd and 3rd position. That is Will Zoller and Scott Kuchner, just behind your race leader, Robert Mitchell, and Ben Wallace fighting to get back on the lead lap. Ryan Bowles just behind them, but he's got Graham Bunyan sitting in front of him, trying to race his way back onto the lead lap as well. And back up front on the lead lap once again is Ben Wallace. He was finally able to make that pass and get by Robert Mitchell to put himself back on the lead lap. But this man right here, he is trying to do the same, except he is going to have to do it a few more times. Graham Bunyan walking his way back up through the field. The 25 of Ryan Bowles is kind of just following him, you know, open the hole and I'll follow through kind of deal. Oh, and Scott Kuchner with a brief moment there. Kuchner almost into the wall. He's going to have to deal with Bunyan now as Bunyan's trying to get up there and pass your race leader, Robert Mitchell, and that would put him only 1 lap down. And as we've seen, not only himself, but Ben Wallace, both of those drivers were able to race their way back onto the lead lap. Great run now by Kuchner on the rear gearbox of Bunyan. Robert Mitchell now putting Ben Wallace back down 1 lap, as Mitchell is one of the drivers that has the freshest tires out there on track right now. So it is going to be a tough task at hand if you're going to want to get past him for the race lead or to try to put yourself back onto the lead lap. Ben Wallace is finding that to be a true statement, as he has now got Graham Bunyan right behind him, trying to push, trying to get the momentum. And we are almost 3 wide for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That is Kuchner, Zoller, and Bowles. Kuchner has 2nd for the time being, but Will Zoller right on him. trying to take that position. Ryan Bowles also right there trying to take the position away. So we have got a few battles right here up front, all within themselves. Graham Bunyan battling with Ben Wallace, trying to stay only one lap down. Ben Wallace battling with your race leader, trying to be back on the lead lap. So we have got a few little exciting race complexities on our hands as we are running lap 82 out of 115, and time is starting to run out on Ben Wallace as well as Graham Bunyan. 33 laps left to go when we cross the line. That time right there. And Mitchell making a vie for the most laps led here today. And we are trying to keep an eye on everything, see how everything's shaking out. And Ben Wallace with a little bit of connection issue there. Everything's worked itself out. He seems to be fine and underway still. Looking through the field, looks like Howard Livingston has been put one lap down. Mike West, one lap down. Rick Lovison, one lap down. Rick Kellball in the 24, one lap down. Ben Wallace, as he runs right now behind your race leader, being scored one lap down, but he is so close. Now he's able to make the pass, get back on the lead lap. Graham Bunyan trying to follow suit, trying to go from being scored 2 laps down to only 1 lap down, then hopefully make his way back onto the lead lap. But should we have those green flag pit stops to the end, I still think that Graham is going to need multiple cautions at this point in time if he's going to want to try to play a factor late here today for the race win. Robert Mitchell, great run off of turn number 2. Scott Kuchner right there breathing down his neck now as they have opened up a small gap over the 67 of Will Zoller running in 3rd. Ryan Bowles running 4th. And the 15 of Danny J rounds out your top 5. Top 5 are the only ones. 3 wide off of turn 2. Wallace on the outside, Bunyan on the inside. And it looks like Graham Bunyan may be hitting pit road. And issues for Graham Bunyan. He is off track now behind the wall. Caution is out. And I'm trying to look and see if anything happened with Graham Bunyan. And it looks like that was a scheduled stop for Danny J. Take a look here between Bunyan and everybody. There's the 3 wide action going on. Looks like everything's almost into them there. And not quite sure what it was. Something must have happened. Nonetheless, though, that is going to pay huge dividends here for the 25 of Ryan Bowles as well as the 99 of Ben Wallace. That is going to put Wallace back onto the lead lap. And unfortunately for Graham Bunyan, he is not going to have the points day that he needed. Robert Mitchell leading the field off of pit road. Nothing's going to change with that one, but this could be big now for Robert Mitchell, Ryan Bowles, Ben Wallace, all of those drivers right there trying to make up as much ground as they can on Graham Bunyan, and I'm hearing mechanical failures for Bunyan. as he could no longer continue the race. That is going to leave him walking away from Kansas Speedway with what will be a 13th position for his finishing order today. So tough break for your season's points leader, Graham Bunyan. So tough luck, tough to see, tough to watch. And we have got a lot of cars, it looks like, in front of your race leader, Robert Mitchell. Robert's racing stats on this season number 4 here in the Sunday Hangover Indycar League. He has started every race, has finished inside of the top 10 for every race, 6 top 5s, 1 race win, trying to put another mark into that category. This time, should he be able to walk away your race winner, and that is always the goal. That is always what you are trying to do. So we will just have to wait and see if that's what he's able to do, and see if he's able to get that job done here today at Kansas Speedway. Whew. What a race. What a morning. Great racing action, side by side, wheel to wheel, here for the Sunday Hangover IndyCar League at Kansas Speedway for the International Animal Rescues 172. And man, just when you think things are exciting enough, we get something like this. Late race caution. Bringing us into caution for the 3rd time here today. 12 laps under caution here at Kansas Speedway. Man on the screen, Robert Mitchell leading the field back to the green flag for your latest restart. What will happen? What will he do? Can he keep that 99 of Ben Wallace at bay for what will be 24 laps left to go when we go green flag racing? Man, I cannot wait to see what happens here tonight. Pace car is off. Mitchell hits the gas and we are back. Green flag racing at Kansas Speedway. Will Zoller gets a pretty decent start just behind your race leader, but being able to control your restart has paid off extremely well for a lot of the drivers that have been able to start from that position, because that's going to leave Will Zoller under fire from Scott Kushner, now looking to take second. He does, now looking to take the position from Robert Mitchell for first. As they head back down into turns 1 and 2, Will Zoller now has his hands full of Ryan Bowles. Ben Wallace 1.4 seconds off of your race leader, Robert Mitchell, and time is beginning to run out. Time is not on his side, but you best believe he is going to be driving with a vengeance to try to go up there and steal a race win away from Robert Mitchell. And Mitchell, he's going to have to deal with Kushner, as Kushner's right there. No room down the back stretch going into turns 3 and 4. Kushner up the track just a little bit. Will Zoller sliding down on the inside just in front of Ryan Bowles. Back to the line, still your race leader, Robert Mitchell, in the 31 machine. out of turn 4 once again at the line, keeping the race lead, the 31 of Robert Mitchell. But he does have Will Zoller in that fast 67 machine driving to his outside, trying to make the pass down the back stretch. Not going to be able to get there. They're starting to open up a small gap over the third, fourth place runners of Scott Kuchner and Ryan Bowles, and Ben Wallace has not been able to make up very much ground, as we are now just 19 laps away from finding out who will be our race winner here today for the International Animal Rescues 172. Man, the racing action up front has not stopped, has not went away. Will Zoller all over the gearbox of that 31 of Robert Mitchell. Scott Kuchner falling back just a little bit, but he is still within striking distance. And this is going to get absolutely crazy, as your top three all with the same amount of fuel, same amount of tires. Ryan Bowles in the 25 does have one lap fresher tires than the guys that he is racing around, but they are looking 3 wide now at times for the race lead. Wonder how long they're going to be able to do that. Not very long, as Ryan Bowles now comes up, takes the third spot away from Kuchner, now looking at second. Will Zoller with a smooth run off of center of 3 and 4. He is trying to make that outside lane work and get up there and battle for the lead with Robert Mitchell, who is still leading this field. Robert Mitchell now being shown as leading the most laps in the race, and I don't think there's nobody besides Bowles or Zoller that are going to be able to possibly steal those most laps led award. But if they don't make the move on it now, as we are down to 14 laps, if Robert Mitchell can hang on to lead the next 3 laps, he will go ahead and sew up that most laps led award. As we continue to click these laps off, 13 laps left here to go now. And Robert Mitchell starting to walk away, open up a little bit of space between him and second, as Scott Kuchner is dealing with Will Zoller down on the inside. Ryan Bowles now looking to the outside as well. He's going to make the pass on Zoller. Move Kuchner to second, Bowles to third, Zoller falls to fourth. Battle still raging on, second, third, fourth, and Robert Mitchell has got to like what he's seeing out of his side mirrors. The more those 3 drivers mix it up back and forth, the more chances he's got to skirt away from the rest of the field. And with crossing the line that time by the man on screen, the 31 of Robert Mitchell, he secures that most laps led award. So he is Yeah, he's been pretty stout all race long. Troubles early for some big names. Graham Bunyan, Ben Wallace trouble earlier. Ben Wallace was never able to fully recover since that contact and incident happened. Jeff Murray also involved in an incident. He finds himself on the plane to Texas already. He's going to slot out of here with the 14th place points. Graham Bunyan in the 101 is going to be credited with 13th. Only 7 laps to go when we cross the line 6. This Sunday Hangover Indycar League race number 11 has been an absolute barn burner and a thrilling one to watch as Ryan Bowles has came up through the field to take second spot away. Now Kuchner with a great run to the bottom as well. Everybody wants to win the International Animal Rescues 172, but fortunately, I should say, for us, only one man can do it. Unfortunately for these drivers, only one man can do it, and you may have to put your car in a compromisable position if you're going to want to walk away as the race winner here today at Kansas Speedway, as Scott Kuchner now looking to the inside of Bowles, back to the outside, little bit of a wiggle as he enters turns 1. Will he have the drive, the run off? Yes, he does. He is going to pull even with the gearbox of Mitchell, who is still running that white lane. Wonder if he's thinking about possibly coming off of it, blocking the run, using a little bit of the aerodynamics to his advantage on having the clean air come across his nose cone. And if you can do little things like that in the IndyCar, just slide up just so slightly, not necessarily throwing a block, but just throwing a little bit of that dirty air onto the front wing of the car behind you, it can help you tremendously. And no, that is not cheating, that's called racecraft. 2 laps left to go here at Kansas Speedway, and we have clicked them off all afternoon long. Robert Mitchell being scored as your race leader, running the bottom line. Has Scott Kuchner in the 00 right there. Ryan Bowles in the 25, also within striking distance. White flag is out. Last time around this 1.5 mile track. Big moment for Kuchner, big moment for Bowles. And that is going to set Robert Mitchell up going into turn 3 with almost a 2/10 second lead. He is going to be able to come around, and as long as he doesn't pound it, he doesn't. Your race winner, the 31 of Robert Mitchell, getting the job done here today for the Sunday Hangover IndyCar League International Animal Rescues 172. Whew. What an absolute barn burner. What a great finish to a very, very great race. And we're going to step away for just a moment and try to set up our post-race interviews. We will be right back. Hope you stay with us here on Turn 3 Racing Network. And welcome back, and thanks for sticking with us here on Turn 3 Racing Network for the Sunday Hangover Indycar League International Animal Rescues 172. And we have had an opportunity to catch up with the third place finisher, the man on the screen. That would be the 25 of Ryan Bowles. You got me, man?
I do.
Well, man, a heck of a race, heck of a finish for you, walking away third place here today. Season is winding down, so every point matters. Tell us a little bit about the race from your seat.
It was a good setup. It was difficult. It was a very momentum race. It was very difficult in certain points. If you ever had to lift, you were going to fall back a little bit. But there wasn't much strategy to it. You just try to stay towards the front. And then, there was that jumble where like half the cars went down a lap, so that was interesting.
Did fuel strategy ever enter your mind at all to maybe try to stretch one of the segments to possibly make it? Well, I don't think you could have made it a one-stop, could you?
Yeah, I don't think you could have made it now. No, because we needed 7 gallons on the third stint, and then the caution came out, which cut it down to 2. So no, there was never any chance to save fuel.
Well,
you're never going to make up 7 gallons.
Yeah, I don't think that's possible. I mean, maybe if you got about another mile of fuel line somewhere hidden through that body, but I think they'd probably catch on to that one.
Yeah, and you were pedal down the whole time. There wasn't much you could do to save fuel. Yeah, because the setup was just on the edge of catching up to the car in front of you. Like you had to use all your fuel to get up to the car behind you.
All right. Well, I mean that is some great insight to the way these cars were running and handling out there. Wasn't able to make any laps this week in the car, so wasn't quite sure how things were working out there for you guys, but evidently they were working out to your liking. So once again, Ryan, a great race, great finish, walking away third place, rounding out the podium here for today's race. Before we let you go and move on to Texas to start working with your crew chief on the open setup, you want to give any shout outs, thank yous, love yous, I do's?
I want to thank Robert for the league. It was really good. We had a good time racing up front. I want to thank my wife for letting me do this, and it's good to be back in the top 3.
I would have to agree. It's always good when you can finish in the podium positions. And Ryan, man, once again, congratulations, and we will catch up with you at Texas.
All right. Thanks, man. Thanks, Dave.
There you have it. That was your third place finisher for today's race. Second place did go to this man right here on screen, Scott Kuchner. First time, I believe, that he has visited us here in the booth. There you see Scott's stats for season number 4 here with the Sunday Hangover IndyCar League on iRacing.com. So he was able to put another notch in his belt, if you will, for the season, finishing in one of the podium positions here today for the International Animal Rescues 175. So our hats off to Scott. Scott, unfortunately, was unavailable for a post-race interview. Some prior obligations with sponsors to go fulfill, and we cannot fault him for that because, if the sponsor isn't happy, you could be looking for some new money to come into your race team. But we have now been able to catch up with your race leader, the 31 of Robert Mitchell. And Robert, you got us, bud?
Loud and clear.
Hey, man, heck of a win.
Yeah, it was one heck of a race. It was a blast. There's a lot of good competition out there today. We had a really good setup, and just pit stops and cautions were a key to this win today. But it was fun. A lot of competition out there. It was a blast.
Well, I know we never like to wish misfortune on our other drivers, or especially the guys we're chasing down. Sometimes we think about it, but we never really wish it upon them. When you noticed that Graham Bunyan and Ben Wallace had some troubles, what went through your mind? What crossed your mind at that point during the race?
Well, I was kind of surprised. They were, from my view, I was maybe a little over half a straightaway back from them. It didn't even look like they were close to touching. But yeah, it's fortunate. I'd rather have them racing at the end because it would have been really good racing, for the fans and everybody. But yeah, didn't hurt my feelings a whole lot, but little disappointment.
Oh, can't be disappointed about the race results, about how you ran the race. You walked away with the most laps led here today. So, I mean, a good start to the finishing of the season for you. As we're heading off to Texas next week for the open setup, without giving away any secrets, do you and your crew chief have anything planned or anything up your sleeves that maybe you might pull out of the woodworks to possibly get your third win of the season?
Yeah, things are going really good with the setup and the car, so I think we have a pretty good shot at least getting the podium, if not the win there. Like I said, it'll be some tough competition, but I'm ready for it. I'm all geared up and ready to go for the finish of this season. I'm going to give it all I got.
All right, Robert. Well, once again, man, congratulations on not just your race win, but a great race all in all. Good pit stops, led the most laps, notched another win for you this season. 2 races left, so wish you the best in those as well. Before we let you go, though, would you like to give any shout-outs, thank yous, love yous, anything like that?
Yeah, number one, all the guys who race in this league. Appreciate the friendship, and the racing that we put on is pretty clean for the most part. But towards the end of the season, we're stepping it up. But give a shout out to all the people that watch. Thank you. We appreciate it, and we hope you enjoyed everything.
All right, Robert. Well, we will catch up with you at Texas.
All right. Hope to be talking to you again at Texas.
There you go. That was your race winner, the 31 of Robert Mitchell. And man, after another great Indycar race brought to you by the Sunday Hangover Indycar League here on Turn 3 Racing Network, there's not much left to do but to pack it up, roll up all the cords, and hit the red eye to get over to Atlanta for another race being brought to you by Turn 3 Racing Network later on here this evening. And that is going to be a barn burner as well. Come back and join us for that. But task at hand, your race results for today's International Animal Rescues 172, walking away with the race win, the 31 of Robert Mitchell. Coming home in the second position, the 00 of Scott Kuchner. Walking away in third, the 25 of Ryan Bowles, followed by the 67 of Will Zoller. Finishing fifth today, the 15 of Danny J, followed by the 13 of Howard Livingston. In seventh position, the 64 of Rick Lovison. Eighth position goes to the 99 of Ben Wallace. Ninth position, the 71 of Stephen Harden. Finishing 10th today, the 24 of Rick Kelball. Mike West in the 10 machine slotted in 11th, and the 004 Naked Clown Jason Lowe finished in 12th. 13th position goes to the 101 of Graham Bunyan, who had mechanical failures and forced out of the race after an incident with the 99 of Ben Wallace. And that is going to hit him hard in the points today. In finishing out your running order for today's race, the 6 of Jeff Murray. So everything is said and done. Everything is in the books and accounted for. So we will get ready to pretty much just wrap everything up once again. Shout out to Haywood Elite Wrestling Club out of Bethel, North Carolina for all of the aerial coverage and camera shots that they were able to bring to you today on the Turn 3 Racing Network. And that is it for myself up in the booth. David Worrell, once again, thank you everybody for joining us. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Click subscribe, smash the bell over there on the right-hand side. Let these drivers know you like and appreciate everything they brought to the table here today at Kansas Motor Speedway. And yeah, man, that is pretty much it. So we will, yeah, we will pretty much call that a day, I believe. I believe so. What do you guys think? I think so. Well, once again, thank you for joining us, sticking with us all race long. We will be back next Sunday for an open setup race at Texas. Hope to see you then.